Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, Gisele Bündchen, supermodel, Stephen Curry, NBA champion, Larry David, comedy legend, Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. What do they all have in common? They all told you to trust FTX. They smiled. They cashed the checks. Brady got $30 million in FTX stock. Gisele got $18 million. O'Leary got $15 million just to be a spokesman. Larry David made $10 million for one Super Bowl commercial where he literally joked about missing out on crypto. And then, in 10 days, it all vanished. $32 billion. Gone. The third largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world collapsed faster than you could withdraw your money. Because your money wasn't there. It never was. This is the story of FTX, the story of how a 30-year-old in cargo shorts convinced the world he was the next Warren Buffett, how he lived in a $40 million penthouse in the Bahamas while your savings disappeared, how he played video games during investor meetings and still raised $400 million, and how, when it all fell apart, he got 25 years in prison for one of the biggest frauds in American history. Let's go back to the beginning. 2019. Sam Bankman-Fried wasn't a household name. He was a Wall Street quant trader at Jane Street who'd gotten bored with traditional finance. So he did what every ambitious 27-year-old does in a midlife crisis. He moved to Hong Kong and started a cryptocurrency hedge fund called Alameda Research. The pitch was simple. Alameda would exploit price differences in crypto markets, buy Bitcoin cheap in one exchange, sell it expensive in another. Arbitrage. It's not sexy, but it works. And for a while, Alameda printed money. But Bankman-Fried wanted more. In May 2019, he launched FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange where people could trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and hundreds of other digital coins. Think of it like the stock market, but for crypto. And unlike most crypto bros, Bankman-Fried had a strategy. Make FTX look legitimate. He wore t-shirts and shorts to CNBC interviews. He drove a Toyota Corolla. He talked about effective altruism, a philosophy that says you should make as much money as possible so you can give it all away to charity. The media ate it up. Here was a billionaire who slept on a beanbag in his office and pledged to donate his entire fortune. He wasn't like those other greedy crypto guys. He was different. He was one of the good ones. And the money poured in. In July 2021, FTX raised $900 million at an $18 billion valuation. Investors included SoftBank, Sequoia Capital, and the Ontario Teachers' Pension Plan. Yes, your teacher's retirement money went into this. By January 2022, FTX hit a $32 billion valuation. $32 billion. That's more than Deutsche Börse, more than the Nasdaq, more than Twitter, for a company that was less than 3 years old. But valuation wasn't enough. Bankman-Fried wanted legitimacy. He wanted the world to see FTX as safe, trustworthy, the future of finance. So he did what every scam artist does. He bought credibility. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen signed a long-term partnership in 2021. They appeared in a $20 million commercial that ran during NFL games. In it, they recruited random people, their hairdresser, a valet, to join FTX. "Are you in?" they asked. Millions of Americans said yes. Stephen Curry did his own campaign, #NotAnExpert. The tagline? "I'm not an expert and I don't need to be. With FTX, I have everything I need to buy, sell, and trade crypto safely." Safely. That word would haunt him. Then came the Super Bowl, February 2022. Larry David starred in a commercial called "Don't Be Like Larry." The joke was that Larry rejects every great invention in history, the wheel, the fork, the toilet, and now he's rejecting crypto. The punchline, "Don't miss out on FTX." It was funny, it was memorable, and it cost Bankman-Fried $10 million. Kevin O'Leary went even further. He didn't just endorse FTX, he became a paid spokesperson and equity investor. On Twitter, he bragged about FTX's rigorous standards of compliance. He told CNBC he'd put his own money into the platform. Trust was the product, and it was selling. FTX spent a reported $135 million on naming rights for the Miami Heat arena, another $12 million on Formula One sponsorships, $3 million on the Golden State Warriors. They even had talks with Taylor Swift for a $100 million deal. Swift walked away. Smart move. The message was everywhere. FTX is safe. FTX is regulated. FTX is the future. If Tom Brady trusts it, why shouldn't you? While you were depositing your savings into FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried was living in paradise, the Bahamas, a luxury resort called Albany, co-owned by Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake. His home, a $40 million penthouse with 5 bedrooms, 7.5 bathrooms, a rooftop pool, and a view of the Atlantic Ocean. But this wasn't just a house. It was FTX headquarters. Bankman-Fried lived there with 9 other employees. His girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, who ran Alameda Research, his co-founder, Gary Wang, engineers, traders, all crammed into a 12,000-square-foot luxury dorm, working around the clock. The penthouse had Italian marble floors, German-engineered windows, a private elevator, and a bar. But walk inside and you'd see computer monitors everywhere, beanbag chairs, a baby grand piano that nobody played. It was part Silicon Valley, part frat house, part trading floor. And Bankman-Fried? He worked from bed. He played League of Legends during investor calls. He survived on 4 hours of sleep and a vegan diet. The media loved it. The next Warren Buffett, they called him, crypto's white knight. Meanwhile, FTX bought more properties, 35 different condos across the Bahamas. Total price, $256 million. Bankman-Fried's parents, both Stanford law professors, got a $16 million estate as a gift. Executives got luxury apartments, all paid for with company funds, which, as it turned out, were your funds. Then the tide went out. And as Warren Buffett once said, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. Crypto prices peaked in November 2021. Bitcoin hit $69,000. The total crypto market was worth $3 trillion. Then it collapsed. By mid-2022, Bitcoin was below 20,000. The market lost more than half its value. Crypto companies started failing. Celsius, Voyager, Three Arrows Capital, BlockFi, all bankrupt. And FTX? Bankman-Fried positioned himself as the savior. He offered bailouts. He bought distressed assets. He told Bloomberg, "We're the lender of last resort." The media called him crypto's J.P. Morgan. But behind the scenes, something was very, very wrong. November 2nd, 2022. CoinDesk, a crypto news site, published an article. The headline, "Divisions in Sam Bankman-Fried's crypto empire blur on his trading titan, Alameda's balance sheet." The article revealed that Alameda Research, Bankman-Fried's trading firm, held most of its assets in FTT, FTX's own made-up token. Not Bitcoin, not dollars, FTT, a coin that FTX itself had created. Think about that. Imagine if your bank's biggest asset was its own loyalty points. That's what this was. Alameda's balance sheet was built on a foundation of monopoly money. And there was more. The article suggested that FTX and Alameda weren't really separate companies. They were intertwined. Money flowed between them. Customer deposits on FTX were being used to cover Alameda's bad bets. The crypto world panicked, and one man decided to act, Changpeng Zhao. CZ, the CEO of Binance, FTX's biggest rival. On November 6th, CZ tweeted, "Due to recent revelations, we've decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books." Binance held $580 million worth of FTT, and now they were selling it all. The effect was immediate. FTT's price crashed from $22 to under $3 in days. And when FTT collapsed, so did Alameda's balance sheet, which meant Alameda couldn't pay its debts, which meant FTX couldn't cover withdrawals. A bank run had begun. November 6th, customers try to withdraw their money from FTX. Billions of dollars in withdrawal requests flood in. FTX struggles to process them. November 7th, Bankman-Fried tweets, FTX is fine. Assets are fine. Nobody believes him. November 8th, a miracle. Binance announces a non-binding letter of intent to acquire FTX. Bankman-Fried will be saved. The crypto world exhales. November 9th, Binance looks at FTX's books. What they find is a nightmare. FTX's balance sheet shows $9 billion in liabilities against $900 million in liquid assets. There's an $8 billion hole. Binance walks away. This situation is beyond our control or ability to help, CZ tweets. November 10th, the Bahamas freezes FTX's assets. FTX halts all withdrawals. Customers are locked out. Your money is trapped. November 11th, FTX files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Bankman-Fried resigns as CEO. John J. Ray III, the man who cleaned up Enron, takes over. In a court filing, Ray writes, "Never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here." That's from the guy who handled Enron. November 12th, hackers steal $473 million from FTX's wallets in unauthorized transactions. Even the corpse is being looted. 10 days. That's all it took. From a $32 billion empire to bankruptcy, the fastest collapse in financial history. So what actually happened? The truth is simpler and uglier than anyone imagined. Sam Bankman-Fried had been stealing customer money from the very beginning. When you deposited funds into FTX, you thought your money was sitting in your account. Safe. Separate. Yours. It wasn't. Bankman-Fried had given Alameda Research a secret exemption from FTX's auto-liquidation protocol. Translation: Alameda could borrow unlimited amounts from FTX's customer deposits. No collateral, no limits, just take. And Alameda did. $10 billion. $10 billion of customer money was funneled to Alameda. And what did Alameda do with it? Bad trades, venture capital investments, loans that would never be repaid. By 2022, Alameda was insolvent, but instead of shutting it down, Bankman-Fried used FTX customer funds to keep it alive. Where did the money go? $200 million on Bahamas real estate, $100 million in political donations to both Democrats and Republicans, millions on celebrity endorsements, luxury jets, parties, the $40 million penthouse. Prosecutors would later describe it as old-fashioned embezzlement. It wasn't sophisticated. It was theft, taking money from customers and using it for your own purposes. And Bankman-Fried knew. His girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, knew. His co-founder, Gary Wang, knew. His engineering chief, Nishad Singh, knew. They all knew. And they all lied. December 12th, 2022. Bankman-Fried is arrested in the Bahamas and extradited to the United States. He's charged with wire fraud, securities fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. 7 counts. His defense? I didn't know. He claimed it was all a misunderstanding, a liquidity crisis, mismanagement. He never intended to defraud anyone. He was just a kid trying to do good who got in over his head. The jury didn't buy it. Caroline Ellison testified against him. So did Gary Wang. So did Nishad Singh. They all described a criminal conspiracy directed by Bankman-Fried. November 2nd, 2023. Guilty on all 7 counts. March 28th, 2024. Sentencing. Judge Lewis Kaplan didn't hold back. He called Bankman-Fried's testimony perjury. He said there was a risk that this man will be in a position to do something very bad in the future. The sentence: 25 years in federal prison, $11 billion in forfeiture, no parole. Prosecutors had asked for 40 to 50 years. Bankman-Fried's lawyers had asked for 6.5. 25 years was the middle ground. At age 32, Bankman-Fried won't see freedom until he's 57. His billionaire days are over. But this isn't just about Bankman-Fried. It's about the people he destroyed. One victim wrote to the court, "My whole life has been destroyed. I have 2 young children, one born right before the collapse. I still remember the weeks following where I would stare blankly into their eyes, completely empty inside knowing their futures have been stolen. I did not gamble on crypto. I had my Bitcoin deposited on FTX as a custodian. I did not agree to the risk that SBF took with my funds. Another. I suffered every day for the past 2 years. I continue to suffer. My wife became suicidal. These weren't degenerate gamblers. They were ordinary people who trusted FTX because Tom Brady told them it was safe. Because Kevin O'Leary said it met his rigorous standards. Because Larry David made it seem foolish not to join. Over 1 million users lost access to their funds. $8 billion vanished. Pensions, savings, college funds, retirements, gone. And the celebrities? Most of them were sued in a class action lawsuit. The case has been mostly dismissed. Courts ruled the celebrities didn't know about the fraud. Tom Brady and Gisele lost their FTX stock, now worthless. Kevin O'Leary wrote off his investment to zero. Larry David said, "Like an idiot, I did it." They got paid. The customers got nothing. Here's the thing about FTX. It wasn't a complicated fraud. It wasn't sophisticated financial engineering. It was a Ponzi scheme. Take money from new customers to pay old customers. Use the rest for yourself. When the music stops, everyone loses. But it worked because of trust. Bankman-Fried didn't just build a company. He built a brand, a persona. The vegan billionaire who slept on a beanbag and pledged to save the world. The guy who hung out with Bill Clinton and Tom Brady. The future of finance. And we believed him. Venture capitalists gave him billions. Celebrities gave him credibility. Customers gave him their savings. The warning signs were there. FTX was based in the Bahamas, not exactly known for financial regulation. Alameda and FTX were suspiciously intertwined. Bankman-Fried's public image, the shorts, the League of Legends, the aw-shucks demeanor. It was all performance. But we ignored it. Because everyone else was investing, because the commercials were funny, because it seemed too big to fail. It wasn't. So could it happen again? Absolutely. Right now there are other platforms, other charismatic founders, other next big things promising easy returns and revolutionary technology. And some of them are lying. The playbook hasn't changed. Get celebrities to endorse you. Raise money from big-name investors. Tell customers their funds are safe. Use their money for your own purposes. Pray the music doesn't stop. FTX isn't the first. Bernie Madoff, Enron, Theranos. The list goes on, and it won't be the last. Here's the truth. If someone promises you guaranteed returns with no risk, they're lying. If a platform is based in a jurisdiction with weak regulation, ask why. If executives live in $40 million penthouses while claiming they're altruists, be skeptical. And if Tom Brady tells you to invest in something, do your own research. Sam Bankman-Fried is in prison. But your money is still gone. FTX claims it will repay customers in full, but only because Bitcoin's price went up after the bankruptcy, creating a windfall. You're not getting interest. You're not getting compensated for 2 years of frozen funds. You're getting lucky. November 1923. A wheelbarrow of money couldn't buy bread in Germany. November 2022. $8 billion couldn't be withdrawn from FTX. Different centuries, different currencies, same lesson. When money loses its foundation, whether it's backed by gold or backed by trust, it disappears faster than anyone imagines. And the people left holding the bag are never the ones who created the mess. Sam Bankman-Fried gambled with your savings. He lost. You paid the price. Remember that the next time someone in cargo shorts tells you they're revolutionizing finance,